Hello, and welcome to Heineken's Tech Insights, your podcast from Heineken Krakow. Throughout this podcast, we'll be sharing insights and learnings from some of Heineken's top specialists who are shaping the digital future of Heineken. Join us to meet our experts, gain valuable knowledge, and see how what happens in Krakow goes around the world. I'm Mateusz Komander, your host, and I'm excited to introduce our next series, AI and the Future of Work at Heineken Krakow. Hello, and welcome back to Heineken's Tech Insights and our mini-series on AI. In episode 2, The Teams of Tomorrow, we explore what an AI-first company looks like and how roles, skills, and culture will change to collaborate with intelligent tools. Once again, we are joined by Grzegorz. Hi, Grzegorz.
Hello. Long time no see.
That's true. Happy to see you here this next episode.
Good to be here.
So, maybe as we speak about future, so as I started the Teams of Tomorrow, and when we speak about the future and to set the stage to that discussion, when you imagine a Heineken squad working with AI fluently, let's say in 2 years, what does that team could look like in your opinion?
So I think that based on the speed of the development of the technology and what I already observe, and I have opportunity to discuss with a few colleagues that are in the startups or they are even running their own companies. First of all, in terms of agility, we usually work in those 2 weeks time boxes called sprints. And what already they claim, due to the acceleration of effectiveness that we can deliver so fast, these learning loops would need to be quicker. And I know that they are already experimenting with 1 week sprint, because it seems that there will be another problem for the teams that so far the speed of development, of delivery sometimes was an issue. But right now it seems that we would be able to deliver way more than previously thanks to the tools and so on. The problem that could appear, that already exists right now a bit, how to verify that business can consume
what is delivered
exactly
in such a fast pace. Yeah?
Exactly. And if it's really changing the business the way intended, because business needs some time, capacity to test it, learn from it, and then we can jump to further development. And what if we can deliver so quickly that, feature after feature, functionality after functionality? So it could be a different challenge in front of us.
Yeah, I think so. From my side, I don't know if you will agree with that opinion. But last year I was participating in OutSystems conference. So the OutSystem is one of the low-code platforms that we are using within Heineken, and there was a claim during that conference that the consistency of a teams will change. Because they are actually OutSystems is implementing AI within their platform to start developing based on a prompt. You actually have already some aspects developed for you, and the OutSystems claims that the consistency or construction, how the team is constructed, will change. That there will be more into people who are actually gathering requirements than the people who are developing the solution. So I wonder if you think that this claim is something that we should look like within 2 years, that we will be having like less technical people understood as developers per se, but we'll have more of, let's say, skill sets as business analysts maybe.
You know what? It's an interesting optic because it is somehow similar to what I have heard and educated myself with listening to the people that are very close to the technology and experiment with the new ways of working, that definitely the teams of the future would be a little bit smaller because again, we can deliver things faster, so one person can do way more, and on the top of that, there would be there might be consolidation of different roles. So right now, when you see the team structure, talking about IT, for example, you have an analyst, you have a tester, you have UX, you have a developer, you have DevOps engineer, and so on and so on, maybe architect. So a lot of different roles. And it seems that technology can democratize or different skill set, and suddenly you have a few skills under one person that does not have to be specialist in all of those aspects, because this person would have AI that would be a great consultant in those aspects, and this person needs to just orchestrate and ensure that the quality is there, for example. But how it will be,
so it will be it might be shift toward generalists rather than like specialists on specific area. I think this claim is very similar to what Jürgen is actually claiming in his new book. So I think there are very similar thinking process in people who are very engaged with AI as yourself, for example.
And there was recently released this report. I don't remember the actual name. It was like annual work state, that Microsoft is involved in. And I remember that they interviewed like 31,000 of different employees across the globe, like permanent employees, contractors, and so on. And there were many interesting conclusions, but what I'm mentioning it right now, because they distinguish like 3 phases of, let's say, ways of working of the future or impact on teams, on organization. So 3 phases. Phase 1, that it seems that we are right now, so people working with assistants. So like we in HEINEKEN work with Copilot, and it's our assistant. It does not perform stuff for us, but it's our assistant. Phase 2, teams mixed with agents. So we already mentioned that team could have dedicated agents that are, let's say, skilled and instructed to support their field of expertise. And the third one is a little bit different, because then you have a person that is running the team of different agents, and it's orchestrating their activities, reviewing the results, solving some problems where they cannot deal with, and so on. So those 3 phases, they distinguish. When you think about it and observe how the technology is developing, what you can do already by yourself, it seems to have logical sense.
Oh, quite. I think that's quite interesting point of view, specifically the third one, like where you are speaking about already orchestrating different AI agents. So I think there's a maybe thesis, or maybe not necessarily thesis, but the words saying that there are some sort of AI first companies. I don't know if I'm recollecting correctly, but I do believe Klarna was one of the most, let's say, vocal at some point. I think the CEO from Klarna decided at some point to focus on delivering through AI. I don't know if this is AI first type of company, but maybe if you could bring us a little bit closer towards that AI first topic. What does it mean? How we should understand that?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is like another buzzword right now in this whole AI bubble, AI first companies. And it got heated after a few CEOs, few leaders of different companies. If I got it right, it was like Fiverr. It was like Duolingo, Shopify. They shared, let's say, different kind of announcement to the public, to their employees, sharing how the reality could be impacted by AI in the upcoming months and years. And among others, if I had to distinguish a few points from those different messages, is that first of all, AI is the priority to be used in everyday operation, that different roles would be adjusted the way so employees can to maximum extent use AI in their current roles. And on the top of that, what you could read on in those different messages, that AI skills becomes part of the recruitment process. So you go to the interview and you could get asked, okay, how do you use tools in your everyday job to show you that you are, AI literate? There is like a guy that is applying AI in OpenAI, and he, I believe, coined the term that AI is new Excel.
Okay. So AI first is not necessarily the examples of companies which will say, okay, now we don't need anyone. AI will deal will deal with everything for us. AI first means rather than, okay, AI should be your, let's say, first tool that you should know how to use. To, let's say, to help your daily work, to help your role.
Yeah, it seems like you pivot the whole company strategy to be this AI first. So you want to implement AI wherever it is possible, secure, and make sense. And of course, there is this is a very, very large topic, because just because there is a technology that can do stuff for you, it doesn't mean that you would implement in the organization, because it needs to meet different, ethical security standards and so on. But another thing that popped up in my mind was that they want to incorporate in the yearly reviews of employees the, let's say, upskilling themselves in AI. And on the top of that, there is this suggestion that before hiring new people, the team or hiring managers need to justify that they cannot automate, optimize
specific process,
the scope with
using AI.
Available AI tools. So definitely there is a shift, and it's of course way more to that.
Okay, so I think then if we are speaking in the AI first, about the AI first companies, in essence, we are speaking not only about specific, let's say, AI adoption, but this is actually a change of culture in those companies, as well.
I believe so. I believe that it's in front of us, because you need to include as well this whole human aspect into that. Yeah.
Okay, and then now looking into those AI first companies and the roles into the AI first companies, and again looking forward like a year or 2 years ahead, which roles, in your opinion, may change the most when or as the AI will become our daily work? Will become our Excel, like you mentioned. Where do you expect the biggest shifts with that?
It's very difficult to predict how it will really turn out, but I think that the best way to check if your role could be impacted by AI is try to automating yourself out of your job, if you wish. There are, let's say, when I'm running different kind of trainings, empirically, it was revealed that you can observe those 4 red flags in the market to observe if AI is coming your way. So very briefly, the first flag is if a company appears or announces that, hey, we have the technology that can do this stuff. For example, Claude claimed, Anthropic, that it is the author of Claude, that, we are in this space that we can build really interactive reports, and there is already a proof of concept. So it's red flag 1 that you see on the market. The technology appeared that can do part of my job or some task. Second, they give access to this technology so you can go and test, and with your knowledge, your skill set, you can receive great results. So it's another red flag. The second one. The third red flag that you should observe, if people without your expertise, without your skill set, can access the tool and get similar results. And the fourth red flag is that, hey, the technology is being implemented in your company, maybe as a bought from the shelf, or maybe as a part of already stuck that this organization. So
okay, so this is how you can see that your role may be impacted in essence, or may change something. But then, do you think that is there any specific, or how could you imagine that we can keep up, let's say, the creativity of a daily work in some areas? But how do you think how we could then leverage those automations or the automated cases, for example, and work in parallel with those stuff that we could actually hand over to AI, but still keep up the creativity that we have?
Yeah, so I think that we will be creative in finding new ways of working with this two technology hand in hand, side by side. So this will be our creativity. There will be around finding a ways to implement the technology in different tasks, in different scenarios, because most probably we will not be able immediately to automate everything at once, but rather we would be using this technology here and there. And as mentioned, people, for example, creatively understood, if we are transcribing different kind of meetings, and we have a few transcriptions, maybe when we are preparing for any kind of review or the summary meeting, maybe we do not have to reinvent the wheel. We can use this technology to at least support us in creating the draft, because we already have examples. And even for those year evaluations, I used it and it appeared to be very useful and creative. Yeah, when you want to show what you have achieved, where you contributed across the year, usually how you do it. You try to remind yourself everything, go through different mails, messages, and so on. And I already experienced that, hey, the tool can help you in finding things that you have absolutely forgotten about it. And here is this creativity that you need to spot. Okay, this is the moment to use AI.
Actually, when you mentioned that, I do like to use the AI as let's say, someone who challenges me on my ideas. Yeah. So, for example, if you have some idea or some topic described, you can prompt it and ask, okay, are there any blind spot or anything that I didn't cover? Could I do it better, having in mind that the expected outcomes are, for example, And then he can challenge you and you can start asking questions, okay, why this is better than what I've proposed. You can then start by having that discussion with the AI, actually, which you usually would be doing with your, let's say, colleagues, senior colleagues, or mentors, or whomever. You actually can use that to gain knowledge yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And it seems, I think that a few people already share like this good analogy to calculators. Yeah, that in the past, probably there were claims that, if we start using calculators, we will become dumb a little bit. We will forget how to calculate. And right now, if you need to do a more sophisticated calculation, rather you do not pull out a piece of paper and start doing it manually. You simply use the calculator and you released your capacity for other, maybe more creative, more complex problem. And there is even a saying that with this AI technology, things that were easy would stop exist, but things that were complex become new easy.
Yeah, exactly. So, Grzegorz, maybe to wrap it up, this week's episode a little bit, as you shared last time, like the general feedback to everyone. Maybe let's focus now a little bit on leaders this week. Okay, so what, in your opinion, maybe the one key action that a team leader can take, maybe this month, maybe in the incoming weeks, to get ready for the, let's say, AI revolution or AI adoption?
So I think that especially leaders need to be great examples. So they need to use it by themselves. If they want, for example, people in their teams and so on to leverage this technology, they should be on the frontier of this technology, using and so on. And the second thing, if I may, is to have those conversation with the teams, because people are talking about the technology, impact of the technology anyway. So it's good to have those open conversation, how we together can thrive. So not only the company benefits from this technology, but as well we as individuals, employees as well.
Exactly. Thank you for that, Grzegorz, and thank you for joining us this week.
Thank you for this episode.
Okay, so this week we had a discussion about teams of tomorrow and AI first companies. We learned a little bit how the squads or future could look like, and what are the sort of flags or red flags that may impact your role, and how you can actually make some capacity for new things to look for. Thanks for helping us imagine that teams of tomorrow. Next episode, we'll be looking into training into a culture change. So based on Grzegorz' experience in the coaching and training sessions he's provided, we'll learn what are the people point of view over AI. To stay connected, be sure to subscribe on Spotify, YouTube, and follow Heineken Global Shared Services on LinkedIn. And remember, here at Heineken, we are always looking for rising stars who are ready to make an impact. If you are interested in joining us, you can explore our open positions at heinekenkrakow.pl. We'll be back with more insights from Heineken's agile and digital transformation journey, showing how what happens in Krakow goes around the world. Join us next time to keep learning, growing, and adapting.